this healed my life, healed my stomach, healed my body, so that I could heal my life. Bone broth, baby.
Eat your fatty meat, drink your water.
The broth of bones. What did the giant say? I'll crush your bones to make my bread. That's the only kind of bread I would eat these days, is bone bread. If anybody knows how to make it, pop it in the comments or send me an email. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm an experiment of one. A successful carnivore experiment of one. A successful lion diet anecdote. I'm not a man of science. I don't understand the science and I don't care. All I care is what it did for me. So if I can pass that on to you, consider me your meat mother. So let me show you how I make my bone broth. You can find your bones. These are the ones I'm using here. Starting with some cow's trotters, which is full of gelatin, and some sheep tail bones, which I'm throwing in. And then here's some shin, so that we do have a little bit of meatiness on it as well. Pack all of those nicely so the water flows between them, but it's not too dense and there is a bit of space. And here's some marrow bones. I always have so many marrow bones. Pop the lid on. I take mine to the garage because this is a 2.5 day job and I have an open plan little house. Put some water on, cover it, but don't cover it right up until the top. Throw some salt in. Put it on the lowest heat that you can and leave it 24 hours. Come back 24 hours later, we're already starting to get golden. Leave it for another 24 hours. And you can see how the water has already dissipated. So top that up. Again, not too much. You don't want it bubbling around the sides. And now I'm going to come back and grab it tomorrow morning. And this is 2.5 days later. Okay, bone broth in the kitchen. Woo! Let's go. Oh, apron, because this stuff is greasy. Cool. Let's just strain it out. I hope it doesn't splash on the camera. But, oopsie. Ugh, don't want to get it on the cloths. Oh! Sure, this is heavy. Oh, okay, shake the rest out. There's a lot to rescue here for doggies. We have made a little receptacle with newspaper and plastic. And now I'm just going to get rid of the big bones. Not that dogs can't have these bones, but they're not super valuable because obviously the broth has leached all the goodness out of it. These little bones from the lamb's tails can completely, the dogs will, you can see, I'm gonna crunch it with my fingers, the dogs will just munch that up, num num num. When I talk about feeding the dogs, I'm talking about the dogs on the street, because I live in the country and there are a lot of poor people and they can't afford to feed their animals. And this kind of so-called waste will never go to waste with me. I don't like waste of any kind. And that's one thing I have to say about being a carnivore. You don't leave anything on your plate. And there's nothing, when you were eating vegetables, or if you still are eating vegetables, how many of them do you throw away? How many vegetables do you throw away? How many vegetables in that stinking ass veggie drawer do you end up throwing away? So not with carnivory. I eat nose to tail, basically. I'm not doing brains and I'm not doing all of that stuff. And I will never touch a kidney. But this kind of thing, I know I could still eat out of this. I could eat quite a lot out of this, but I'm going to give it to the doggy dogs. When I head up the hill just now in the icy cold, I know that I'm doing something good. This could have been thrown away, but it's actually going to feed a little Nunu doggy that basically lives on the street. And here is the golden broth that remains once the bones are gone. let's get this into jars now that it's nice and cool, but before it gets too cool, because you don't want the fat to start separating too much. And there, just to catch if it's too hot, then that'll help to catch the heat. Right, I'm making a little one to take with. That is going to be my breakfast on Friday morning, because I'm going on the road. On the road again. Right, let's go. And this should fill up nicely the whole rest. Whoop, got quite a lot. Fill that guy up, and you can see this, it's golden. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to put it. Yeah, that's the shit. So, got my meatballs. Got some broth for the morning. Got some fat, so there's some marrow bits under there, and then some beef tallow on the top. This is what I brought for my hostess. Some lamb suet tallow and tallow blocks, and some beef tallow. Gifty poos. Food on the road. Oh, and I've got my trusty salt. Take a bit of tallow from my tallow jar. Boom. And there you go. I like being a caveman. It's so easy. Good morning. I came back from my trip to a jar of bone broth in the fridge, and I thought, let me show you something. There's this big fat cap. You might not want to drink all of this. You might want to save some, put it in another jar. If you do drink all of this, it might be very good poop and juice, if that's what you need. For those of us carnies who know the opposite to what most people will say, they get a little bit of the old diarrhea high hay. But if you don't want so much fat, then take off it. You can see it comes off in these nice big chunks, and just take them off and put them in the fridge. Something like this, just added to your ground beef. This is the jelly of jellies. Look at that, bloop, 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 bloop. And then just add like a third. Let's warm it up on a low heat. Let that warm up. Look at the jelly. Can you see in the light? I don't think you're ready for this jelly. Yeah, there you go. Ooh, and here comes Uncle Martin, the kitchen cat. Keep this in the fridge and have this first thing every morning. Bone broth and marrow, I believe, are two of the major things that helped to heal my gut lining, because my gut lining was so ravaged. It was torn apart. It was like a net. I could feel particles of food in my blood. I didn't know what it was. I only worked that out afterwards. Thank goodness. I would have been so freaked out. I used to lie in bed at night, and when I turned over at night, I could feel it. All the food particles settling. Oh, thank God I didn't know what that was. Okay, my bone broth is hot. Ooh. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Cheers. Now, this is super hot. One thing you must be so careful of is the fat holds heat so badly, so well, that you can burn your lips on this. Oh, you can't even see. There. Tuk tuk. Any way to make it prettier? No. Okay. And that's my bone broth. 2.5 days in the cooker, and I had enough to last me a week. Super cheap, super easy. Oh, I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. What's up, my boy? Oh my goodness. Okay. Somebody likes early Destiny's Child. First thing in the morning, drink what you are made of. Eating little chips of sugar candy cardboard, that is not breakfast. This is breakfast. This is how you break a fast. Eating what you're made of, allowing your body to take all the nutrients out and remake parts of you that clearly need healing. Consider me your meat mother. I love you. I want the best for you. I can see you healed. I can see it because I've seen it in so many others. Drink your bone broth, drink your fat. I love you. And please allow me to stim out on Bootylicious one last time. My broth is too bootylicious for you, babe.